All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the spiciest league of all of Upsurge. That's right, ladies and gentlemen, I am talking about the one, the only UCL, also known as my ever so lovely Contenders. My name is Travesty, and I am joined here with my sous chef for tonight. He's going to be dishing out the finest of recipes for these Contenders tonight. Is my boy, the saved one. How are you doing today, buddy?
I just want to say, never got that good of an intro, and I absolutely love it. I'm doing absolutely amazing travesty. Two absolutely amazing teams that we're going to be casting here tonight. Lane Zero Inferno over on the blue, as well as Purdue over on the red. How are you doing, man?
You know what? I'm fantastic. I'm ready to get into some League of Legends. These teams are ready too, man. Look at this
Oh, they're
program
going.
already. They're firing through this right now.
Yeah, let's take a look at each of these comps. I think that we could definitely do that. Jarvan, Zaya, Morgana already drafted over on Inferno. And so far, their comp is really nice. I do like the jungle as well as the bot lane draft. Purdue, though, they've been watching a little bit of Worlds, and they see the Yasuo Gragas combo as well as the Kai'Sa, and they want to lock all of those in. I would not be too surprised if we saw a Nautilus banned by Inferno or Purdue just insta-picking the Nautilus.
It is an option that is on top of the table, right? Nautilus is a very strong pick in this current meta, and a support pick could be something to be picked here.
Yeah, usually you do pick it with the Kai'Sa. Other than that, it's usually the Morgana. But hey, Karma, they want to prove me wrong and say, you know what? We got the Karma in our back pocket. We want that full-on lane control. We're going to pick Karma for both of these bushes that we want to take over bot lane.
It makes perfect sense. You're going to be looking to try and get that control, just like you were saying. These teams are looking like they're going to be hot and firing off. And talking about firing off, Inferno over here, they got the picks on their side. They see the Karma. Now the ball is in their court. What do they want to pick? Because this Karma could still technically flex.
Whew, we're seeing the Jarvan Galio combo and just literally add whatever strong mid laner you want. Let's see a Syndra. Why not? Let me try and predict one of these picks. But you see a beautiful comp so far coming in from Inferno. We got the Urgot. Scrap what I'm saying. You got a Bruiser up there in the top lane. We're going back to the Aatrox Urgot meta without the Aatrox. Maybe. Who knows? But yeah, Urgot coming into this one. Single target fear is really good out of his ultimate. So we'll see if that ends up coming into fruition here in this match.
Yeah, with that Conqueror, man, you could trap him inside that shell, and those legs are thick as can be. Is on Purdue now to go ahead and decide what they want to grab for themselves. And baby, it is a counter pick that's coming on out. And boy, oh boy, is it not one. Jack's coming on in. He is going to be spinning that stick, man.
Yeah, I absolutely love Jax in this matchup. Definitely, at least here in the top lane. Usually you see Jax as that bruiser and loves to go aggressive. What I love about Jax's playstyle is he can play passive the whole entire laning phase, and you never really know when he's going to go in for that Counter-Strike leap. So we'll see if Purdue's top laner can pull out all of these cheeky little engages. But I like Purdue's comp a lot, actually, here.
Me too, man. They got a lot of different things that go for them. I love the fact that they actually have this huge source of AD damage, and they put together a Gragas and Karma. That's so smart, and for them to do in Kai'Sa. You already know it, man. You've broke down Kai'Sa gameplay, I'm sure, countless times this season alone. Kai'Sa has a very funky build path that can just kind of switch all over the place.
Yeah, Mer mana into Rageblade is what most people are starting to go nowadays, and it's really, really good. I know my buddy, I was trying to learn ADC Kai'Sa, and he was like, you know what, just go basic, start a new build. Go IE into Rageblade. And I was like, all right, you don't trust me, man, it's fine. But yeah, Kai'Sa going to be coming in here with the Karma versus the Zaya Morgana, and Zaya is usually played into Kai'Sa. We've been seeing that all across Worlds, and now Morgana has slowly came into the meta because of how strong she is as a mage support. So incredibly strong into a lot of these matchups because her bind can be comboed literally with anything. Morgana Zaya, though, in this matchup is going to be a huge snaring lane. Zaya can play very passive, but if Morgana ends up landing a binding, this lane can get very aggressive.
And not only talking about that, we also got to talk about how all the rest of these teammates pair together. Because, Zaya Morgana, deadly duo. But, oh, my God, look at the amount of AoE that they can focus in. The team fights that they can control from Inferno.
And that's usually what you want to put into a team comp, right? You want a little bit of single target damage in your team fight comp, but then you also want a lot of AoE, and you get that in the top half of the map. You've got the Galio, I believe, is going to be going into the mid lane with the Jarvan. Galio being in the middle part of the map can literally go wherever if he wants with the hero's entrance, right? Jarvan wants to gank a side lane, Galio is going to be right there on that roam, right beside him, right? The Jarvan Galio ultimate combo. It's gonna be so nice. Cataclysm into Hero's Entrance. It's a beautiful combo. As well, Urgot is gonna be doing a lot of single target burst damage, and he's got that backup if he wants through the Jarvan and also through the Galio. So the Inferno's comp so far looking really nice.
But you were talking about the mid-jungle synergy. We can't talk about that and not talk about Yasuo Gragas yet again. You talked about it earlier. If you've been watching Worlds, you saw how this came into fruition. Gragas, Yasuo, devastating duo together. And I gotta ask you, is it something that they should be scared of with this composition that they've drafted?
I think if this Yasuo player can play Yasuo, right? We always know that Yasuo players are 50-50. What I like to say is if Yasuo gets fed, beautiful, that's amazing. If he starts dying though, then he's got to wait for that 5 death power spike, right? We all know Yasuo's, right when they hit the 5 death, they start, I don't know what triggers within them, but they just don't care anymore, and they start dashing everywhere and get a couple of kills through the aggressiveness. But we'll see if Holy Kerp can actually play this pick. And paired up with a Gragas, it's going to be so nice to see the body slam into Yasuo ult combo. That's what I'm really, really excited about. Usually we see, or at least we have been seeing Yasuo being played in the bot lane because he's really good against those ranged. But if you pair it up versus another ranged in the mid lane, let's just say, he does really well, but it's a Galio, right? How is he going to be dashing through Galio? You can't really do that when you're playing Yasuo.
Now, the big thing to talk about too is the fact of the matter is your Yasuo's in your games are different than mine. Mine usually goes 0 and 10. Yours goes 0 and 5. I would like to trade if we could possibly do that, because that would be very helpful for any game, and my sanity included. I also want to bring up a key note as we're going into our spectator delay, some niceness that you guys can't be able to see. Taking note of some of the summoner spells here. We got 3 TPs versus 2 on one side. Yasuo also running cleanse, man.
Yeah, that's definitely one that we have to watch out for, because I feel like this Yasuo is looking at this matchup, Jarvan Galio, and he's saying, I'm going to get knocked up a lot during this match. Not only knocked up, but taunted. Even you look at the Morgana, you look at the Xayah, there's so many snares, the Urgot flip. There's just all these little possibilities that this Yasuo has to watch out for. And he's got a time when he ends up going in for different plays. What he's going to be forced to do in the late game is try and get his tornado and then wait either for his own knockup or for the Gragas to try and flank. Because if not, then when is Yasuo going to get the time to pop off, right? There's just so much CC on the enemy team that Yasuo feels really choked, and that's why he wants to take the cleanse.
Wants to dodge around that CC like you were talking about. That dash isn't just enough, but let's talk about something else that's going to be just enough for you. That's why I'm talking about our dear sponsor, Kono.store. If you guys want the finest of keyboards that are out there, Kono is there to provide for you. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to tell you guys of a one-time deal. Actually, it's a deal that you can access at any time. It's as simple as going onto your web browser and typing Kono.store and being able to pick up the hottest keyboard for yourself. What if you need something a little bit more niche? Maybe you just need to get that cap to put onto your keyboard. You want something special. You want it fancy. Well, Kono has the gear for you. Thanks to Kono for sponsoring this game of the UCL and sponsoring UCL all season long, sponsoring Upsurge. These guys have been phenomenal, so be sure to check them out and up your game. With that being said, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to take ourselves a short break. We'll be right back. Alrighty, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to some UCL. We got some hot contendies here, and my name is Travis. I'm joined here with the saved one, and let's go ahead and get this bread because it's gonna look like an absolute bloodfest here.
Yeah, and I absolutely love what these two teams are coming into this one with Lane Zero Inferno over on the blue side. They've got an absolutely beautiful team comp as well as Purdue. But I think we need to introduce these teams, Travesty.
Yeah, that's right. Over on the blue side, we got Lane Zero Inferno. You got Revnon over in the top lane playing that Urgot, Mr. Thickums himself. Where my, you know what the rest is, jungle, playing that J4. You got Lamelo playing that Galio, looking to make a heroic entrance in the mid lane. Brodast playing the Xayah without her lover, instead gone for Dark Lord Matthew playing, well, the Dark Lord Morgana.
And over on the red side, we have Purdue University, LZN in the top lane, Clam Sparkle in the jungle, Holy Kerp in the mid lane, Bishop on AD with Flood Logic landing a Q.
Yeah, laying that little bit of poke, you know, getting Brodast a little low, you know, just doing karma things here. That is exactly what karma loves to do.
It's two, one after the other, and I don't think that Brodast is actually able to go back to base just yet. So he's going to have to leash on half HP and actually get back into the lane on half HP, which is going to be really nice because you can see Kaisa right now. She wants to get that early level.
Yeah, wants to go ahead and snatch that on up, get that going. And, you know, we were talking about this earlier. Kaisa, very high priority champion, can be absolutely devastating, especially when you pair it together with a Karma who's going to love to just poke people around.
It's going to be really cool to see how this matchup really comes, or at least shows. Because right now we're seeing a lot of aggression.
Oh, yeah, that's a lot of damage being put back onto Brodast, though. And I'd say that's a trade they absolutely want to take, but lots of early aggression coming out from Holy in the mid lane. Really putting the hurt back onto this Galio.
Ooh, and a really nice ward spotting out the Jarvan, but does he want to keep going for this gank? The answer's going to be no, so it's really nice that they ended up warding that very early on.
That's exactly what you would love to see from these teams here. And Revnon actually jumping on in, gets counter-striked. Jarvan doesn't have items, so isn't going to be able to capitalize on that. But nothing else too crazy. Lots of pings actually coming out from where they're spotting. These junglers are actually really moving aggressively actually here over on the sides.
I feel like it's because Gragas does not want a vertical jungle here, and he's telling the rest of his team, like, go, please, like, stop this invade. Like, guys are already ahead bot lane, and even though you have to sacrifice a couple of CS, just go and see what this Jarvan is doing. And I think it would have gotten to that point where Jarvan at least would have taken the blue. So now he's forced to go back into his own jungle, take Raptors, and then go back to base and have to reset.
Ooh, lots of damage actually getting put out. They get the root. Nothing else to come on about it. But yeah, I love what you were talking about there because you got to think the lane priority does not favor Gragas in the early parts on this top side.
Exactly, right? Gragas, he has to get around in this bot lane as well. The laners actually have lane prio, but in the top lane, Urgot going in.
Revnon, he's got the Conqueror shotgun legs. He's going to be able to jump out to the minion. He's going to be safe as can be. It's going to be good for them. And not even having to use the summoner, but now we have some aggression coming down here in the bot lane. Brodast is getting himself.
No way.
Go on down. The Ignite takes him on away. Bishop is running away. Will he be able to make it? He flashes the snare, and they're looking to just kite him on around. The ward is there, but Bishop does not go down. He's going to be able to auto attack him, and he's going to be able to pick up another kill as the TP comes out from Xayah, but nothing to avail. They're going to be able to stop Lamelo in the mid lane as well. He flashes over the wall. Great use of it, but man, oh man, Purdue, they know when to bring it.
All three of these lanes, just something is happening in the top lane. A little bit of damage going down onto Jax, TP, and the bot lane coming in.
Oh, bro, oh, they forced the flash there. The TP coming in and just disrespecting the position that Flawed Logic could be in.
Someone tried to TP into the bot lane, but I'm not too sure who it was. Holy Kerp, though. Sorry.
Yeah, they're looking for something here. They're going for it. Holy is trying to do what he can. It is the 2v2 to come on out now. Lamelo does have his backup in the J4. He's looking for the kill onto Holy. He wants to go ahead and start his 0-1 power strike, or the 0-5 as Saved One knows. But it looks like it's just going to be Gragas to go on down.
Yeah, Gragas had to take the bullet there, but tried to gank in the mid lane. And sometimes as a jungler, you're pressured, right? You have to try and get your solo lanes ahead, or at least your priority lanes. And the one priority lane here for Purdue is going to be this Yasuo. So he's trying to get him ahead versus someone like Galio, who is kind of squishy, or at least not as tanky in the early game. So try and get an early game kill onto him. But Jarvan knows the mind of the jungler, get into the jungler's mind, and had to try and do a counter gank and got it off successfully.
Was able to try and do what he was able to do there. It was really good on the J4 to be in the right place in the right time. That's something that we gotta look at when it comes down to Where Am I, which is what his new name is. Where Am I, honestly, has been hacking very aggressively this game.
Yes, definitely, and he's slowly been going into these different, or at least his own jungle path. I haven't been paying attention too much to it, but you can already see where he's trying to prioritize, and you can see throughout that ward coverage where he's trying to prioritize. There's already a ping inside of his red side jungle, going to be going over to his Raptors, and then maybe path towards the top side jungle, because that's probably where it's most effective, right? You try and get your 2 camps instead of going towards your bot side where there's no Krugs. You just reset the timer. Anyways, it's just jungle things. But yeah, he has been getting around a whole lot here in this early.
You know what? Something I can appreciate, the fact that Galio is using the chicken skin. So, you know, he's throwing out contendies and buckets for us. We're watching contendies with contendies in the game, man. It's absolutely delicious.
I love that skin. I actually got that as a skin permanent the other day, but.
Oh man, that is honestly the best use of a skin permanent. But in other news, there is going to be a bit of a snare coming on out. It's 3 people in the mid lane, a party on Galio, and he is going to go on down as Clam Sparkle drops the cask on top of him. Nasta just going to go ahead and rock on away. He actually went ahead and popped the Grandmaster's Might, but no need for it here.
Yeah, where am I actually going into the top lane here?
Oh, man. And you knew he was just in that area. Counter-Strike is going to be used. He warded off 2 flashes and is able to get out by the skin of his teeth, but dangerous territory for Nasta.
And you can see Gragas's prioritization. He has priority in the mid lane and knows that Morgana and Xayah don't want to roam from bot lane. So he immediately runs into the enemy jungle where Jarvan isn't, steals the red buff, and is going back to base now. Really nice grab, actually, by Gragas here.
Looking where he's not. Good sign of a jungler. Has that spatial awareness to know exactly where he needs to be at the right time to make the gold for himself. You gotta also think these junglers are probably looking at trying to get these mids online or get this bot lane going, because this is an Ocean Drake, and getting an early Ocean Drake can always be nice.
It could definitely always be nice, right? You always want that early game sustain into late game sustain, and who knows, right behind that Ocean Dragon could be an Inferno, something a little bit more prioritized, but I was gonna say in the bot lane there could be something, but it's just kind of scraps going on between both of these supports.
Joke's on you. She still had Spell Shield.
Exactly.
It's the tricky thing of Morgana. You think something's going to happen, and then Black Shield.
Nope, exactly. But Jarvan lurking here in the mid lane.
I think that's a little obvious.
Yeah,
it's like, I can smell what's coming this way. It's like all of a sudden, this Galio's playing really far forward for a moment there, but
there's no wave and there's a Galio.
Yeah, he's just chilling in the middle of the wave. Yeah. I don't think anybody's gonna fall for that one. Revna is going to jump on in on the chats here. Lots of damage coming on down. Fear Beyond Death. He flashes forward, so that way he can't get away from the Fear Beyond Death, but is gonna be able to last long enough. So it's going to be good on Nasta. No ultimate for him. Now Brodas has the Ignite put onto him yet again. But he's not going to be able to do much else with that. Shadowstorm has to come on out. There is a J4 here in the wings trying to see what they'll be able to do. Bishop going to go for that void fight. Get a little bit of damage to come on out. But now we're seeing some fighting going on over here in the top side. They do have the jungler over here. Flash Body Slam not going to be able to connect. It's not pretty, but it is going to be effective. Nasta going to be able to pick up that kill.
And Gragas still gets to keep his ultimate at the end of that whole entire trade, even though he did end up burning Flash and a little bit. I think he ended up smiting the opponent there. It doesn't even matter. He was able to get an effective gank off, and the kill also ended up going over to Jax. But in the mid lane, well.
Yeah, here we go. That's the cleanse. The cleanse was used early, so it's not going to dodge a knockup, but that's going to be the last breath. Here comes a heroic entrance to come on in, dodging and weaving through it all. The chickens are going to be blocked by the wind wall. Oh no, he's able to get it. Holy, almost having the outplay of a lifetime in that situation, but not close enough. But here comes Clam Sparkle. He's looking for it. An explosive cask is going to hit him, but it's only going to tickle the Galio here, as he's going to be able to get out of that just fine.
Yeah, that was kind of weird. The Galio still having his MR shield from earlier, this passive coming up right there, and didn't really take all that much damage. Now we're getting to the point where Galio is starting to get his base health and basically everything up a notch, right? You can see him not really taking all that much damage. He's got a lot of resistances there in the mid lane, and Yasuo has a big old frowny face in the mid lane. Right, it's really, really unfortunate. Gragas also not able to do a whole lot of damage in this situation, so he's got to start focusing other lanes. Right, he got a really nice gank off in the top lane, then ended up going mid lane and kind of wasting his ult.
Yeah, but hey, he does have some items now, so we'll have to see what his answer will be now, as his ganks will be a little bit more effective. That explosive cast hurts more when you got a little bit of AP behind it, for sure. Now the in the situation is going to use the counter strike, saying, I bet you, I dare you. This top lane's basically a game, I bet you won't, I bet you will.
Yeah. I also love seeing the power spike that Sheen gives some top lane bruisers. Like you saw there, that little trade that that Jax did wouldn't have done that much damage if he didn't have Sheen. It's just that single auto attack just doing a little bit more.
Another big thing to take note of is, where is going to not be able to have the jungler there with him. He's looking for something, so that's going to be fun for him. They're going to be able to catch out the Gragas here. Gets a lot of damage onto him, but he's going to be able to use his body slam to retreat. Tactical body slam.
That's it.
And get up out of there.
Sometimes you just got to slam. Oh.
I was gonna say, I'm noticing something though, man. This gold lead that's starting to come out though is growing though.
Yes. Yeah, definitely. And you can see if you look at the gold that's being spread throughout this game. The Jax just getting so much gold. He's 1,000 gold above his opponent. And that's just all due basically to his CS.
Oh wait, oh, we're going in. Killer instinct being used. Bishop looking for the kill. He's hungry for it. Dark Lord Matthew in a tricky spot. The cast is going to be able to hit. Kai'Sa's going to be able to just lay out the damage, but not going to be else more. That is Karma flashing in to get that kill secured. And that is going to be huge for the side of Purdue.
Yeah, now they want to keep going to this bot lane. Yasuo actually coming in maybe for a dive.
This could be risky though. Cataclysm is still up, and this is a J4. Already has the Cinder Hulk, so could be very tanky. They're gonna decide against it. Wise move, I'd say.
Yeah, the Kai'Sa Karma just showing their dominance here in the bot lane. Even though Karma does have more kills, it doesn't even matter because the more time that Kai'Sa gets to herself down here means more CS and also more XP that they both get for themselves. Now going back to base, gonna probably get a lot of gold, but in the mid lane, he doesn't want to do anything. He just wants to stop the back.
Yeah, Lamella, you know, he just dropped a sick yo mama joke at Yasuo. You know how sensitive he is about that. He has some issues with those situations in his life, which is fine. Not judging, but Lamella, you know, he's going to take full advantage of that.
Yeah, and while all of this is going on, Lane 0 Inferno, even though they are down in kills and they are down in gold, they want just a little bit of padding, right? Try and get an Ocean Dragon just in case anything happens.
Yeah, I really like this too because you would think that Purdue would have wanted to grab that Ocean because they did just really wipe the bot side there, and they had 4 members, but they decided against it.
Yeah, sometimes tower plates are a little bit more kind of shiny in hindsight, but yeah, Greg is kind of pathing towards this top lane because he wanted his red buff. He knows he has priority in this top side, and that is when Lane 0, they just take complete advantage of that.
Looking to go ahead and get everything going for that. And Purdue over here now, they are really laying out the hurt down here in the bot side. A little bit of damage coming on to Dark Lord Matthew, and they are honestly making this Karma pick look so good, really just chunking out this bot lane.
I was talking about it in Champion Select a little bit, even though Nautilus would have been really good. What Karma does is she has full-on bush control, right? She loves to just take control of this bot lane and just poke out your opponents because AoE is a hard thing to dodge. Even though it's a very small skill shot, the Karma Q, it still does a heck of a lot of damage when you actually land it. You see it right there, right? A quarter basically of Xayah's HP.
Ladies and gentlemen, that is a support, just laying the pain down. It is disgusting what Karma is able to do with the amount of utility she brings to the table. An interesting bit of shuffling that's been going around over towards the top side, too. We saw a little bit of a cheeky interaction between Urgot, Gragas, Jats also backing him up. We've seen Yasuo checking chickens, trying to get his chicken grove on from someplace other than Galio. We're seeing these teams, they are not sitting still. They're not staying to their lanes.
Yeah, and even though bot lane wasn't warded, you see that Jarvan has other priorities. He sees this mid lane Yasuo. He's gotten a couple of kills already.
Oh, yep, here we go. Heroic Entrance is going to come on out. He's going to be able to get the knock up onto it. That is going to be the Predator. Explosive cast. Bishop is just going to smack him on down.
That was so nice, and you saw Yasuo's pathing during all of that. He started already pathing towards the bot lane because that's where his Gragas was. That is where his Kai'Sa was as well. And Jarvan just kind of underestimating all of that. Gragas also with the body slam notices that Gala's a little bit too tanky now, right? You can't really do all that much damage to him, and he decides to back off. Also, tower plates have all went down in the mid lane, though. Hold on.
No, here we go. There's a little bit of fighting going on out. Taunt's not going to be able to connect. That's going to be the tornado to come on in. Mello is still laying out the damage. So Holy has to be very careful. Kayam is going to be able to take him out with one last auto, and that is going to be a kill secure for them. Now we are seeing the counter-strike over here in the top lane. Nasta laying out the damage, and this is where the game is starting to get scary right now. Goldie is ever so expanding, and all these lanes are doing just fine.
I had the pleasure of casting EU on the weekend, and each team throughout all 3 games that I casted, they got really nice early game leads, like 8,000 gold by around this time, and they just weren't able to do anything with it. So I want to see now if Purdue can actually close out this game, but in the bot lane...
Oh, Dark Lord, he might be giving up his life for this, though. I don't know if that's what you want. Bishop picks that up, and they say, bring as many people as you want. Prodass is next on the list. Double kill going out to Bishop. Now they're looking to chunk him on down. That's going to be the shutdown coming on in, as Revnon is joining the team down here in the bot side. Nasta is here as well. They could look for a little bit of a defense. Bishop is still around in the area, but the HP bars are not in their favor. Looks like they may look to opt to give this one on up. A little bit of a tether coming out to Where Am I? But laying out the damage all the same. Here comes the TP. They just wanted to get the HP on back. That's going to be one stun to connect. Nasta is taking a lot of damage from this. They're looking to back them on up. They're pushing them off of the tower. And Yasuo is just free farming in the mid lane.
Yeah, Yasuo has no care in the world whatsoever. He does not need to roam down here. Kai'Sa, though...
Oh, wait, hold on. The Jazz is going to be looking to counter-strike. They're going to be able to not get the kill there. Demacia is just going to get him stuck inside of there. He's going to be able to pull in the Jazz, and this is going to be 2 kills going over to lane 0. Now it's Holy coming in. He says, it's my time. My time is now. The cleanse coming into effect. Explosive cast not going to be able to hit. The Mellow is going to go down all the same, but man, oh man. Lane 0 just getting out by the skin of the teeth from giving over more kills to this Yasuo.
Yasuo finally, Holy Kerp actually noticing that that there was a massive fight happening towards the bot side. And I was talking about the next dragon that could be potentially behind this ocean, and it's going to be an Infernal dragon. You can already see Purdue setting up for this one. They put a pink ward right in the entrance, and they just want to all go back to base, just try and reset for this massive objective that they can take.
And get everything ready, get the objective like you were talking about. They don't want to go ahead and say, oh man, these guys just have better objective control than us. They want to go ahead and secure that on for themselves. Holy going to be able to spot that ward out. And now we're seeing Jats actually going over here to the top side. So this could be a very interesting play to come around here.
It could. You can keep Jax in the top lane, and if all of Lane 0 Inferno just send all of their members towards his bot side to contest the dragon, Jax can take literally whatever he wants.
Yeah, and a little bit of damage coming on out. Tornado is going to be used there, but not going to be able to snatch anybody on up with it. Jats is walking down. Here we go. Dragon has started. Infernal is going. Clam. Sparkle is just absolutely decimating the HP bar. Flawed Logic's going to be able to pick that one up, but the Drake does go on over the lane 0. They're trying to kite this one on out. Bishop is going to take a bit of damage, going to lay out a couple bits of damage, but nothing else. They realize, hey, we can't continue this chase. Let's go ahead and halt that.
When you're this far behind and you know that you're, 12 kills to 5, just back off, right? Take whatever objective that you can, try and give whatever buffs you need to your laners or whatever, and then try and reset, right? And you can already see what Purdue are doing. They're not like slacking from that play. They don't, it's almost kind of like they had a backup plan, right? If we don't get the dragon, let's just go for the Herald and try and get a couple of towers.
I think they just remembered that the Herald was a thing. I don't think that was part of the plan.
I was trying to make them look good. All right, I was trying to make them look good.
Listen, you build them up. I got you on the knocking things down part. But yeah, really, one of the things that we can talk about though is there has been a difference in these two teams in terms of what their control and what their priorities have been.
Yeah, so far from what it's been seeming, Lane Zero, they're kind of focused on picks a little bit, like counter ganks, picks, little team fights, and Dragon. That's about it, right? Other than that, Purdue have just been resetting their mental. If they lose one thing, it's fine, it's okay. What's the next thing that we can do? In that case, they didn't get the Infernal Dragon. They didn't let it get to them. Immediately just go for the Herald. We'll see where it actually ends up going. It's probably going to be in the top lane. But other than that, the rest of their team needs to now do something, right? Your Karma, super fed. You're now at that point as Kaisa as well, where you're on your 2-item power spike. You're looking for your 3rd. Other than that, you need to start looking for a couple of more picks in order to really close out this game.
You need to go ahead and start shutting everything down. Start getting putting a little bow on things, right? You got some pretty strong members on your team, and here we go. Seeing LaMelo and Nasta actually squaring off against one each other, but Nasta came out of that limping, half HP gone.
Yeah, this is what we've been seeing so far out of this lane matchup, at least. Well, it's not Urgot, but now kind of Jax has a new opponent. And we've definitely been seeing this matchup throughout the Yasuo, where he's not really able to do anything to the Galio, but same thing with Jax. Right? He just gets taunted, he gets bursted. You can see even through Galio's items, he's not building tanky whatsoever. Right? He's building Hex Tech Pearl Belt into Seeker's Arm Guard. It's a little bit of armor. And health. But other than that, it's a lot of AP.
Yeah, they're just preparing themselves, making sure they're ready to go. You know, Galio already has that magic resistance out of his kit. Now we're starting to see these teams start to rotate around. We got to take note that the Herald is halfway done here. We got to keep our eyes on where Graggy's going.
Yeah, it looks like he's just kind of stalling in the mid lane here. The one thing that junglers, or at least a lot of junglers do, it's kind of like their downfall, is they don't use the Herald, right? They get it, and that was a really good play that they did, but they don't immediately use it, and all of a sudden it's almost up. And you have to just kind of use it in the moment, and it might not be in the lane that you're looking for.
Yeah, you end up spawning it in the in your fountain. That's always the most awkward time whenever you have Herald in your pocket. And
which lane is it going into? Who knows?
Who knows? It's a mystery. Wait and find out next time on Upsurge.
Exactly.
But items are starting to get built, and this is actually where I start getting scared if I'm if I'm a fan of lane 0. Look at some of these items that are getting built in the mid and top side alone, and then you look at the AD carry.
Yeah, you got, I believe that's Sojin there in the top lane as well. You got the Triforce on the Jax. Jax just super busted at the moment. You see now Kaisa is slowly starting to build towards her Nashor's Tooth, and already has the Mer mana completed, which is really good. You can see Gragas again. This is what I was talking about. When the thing gets used and you have to use it, right? That's super unfortunate. In the mid lane as well, you see Yasuo in the bot lane. For a gank here.
Yeah, we're seeing Purdue doing really good in terms of individual mechanics, but the macro, right, the way that they're using objectives and stuff like that is kind of their downfall. And you gotta think, if you're lane 0, you're looking to take advantage of that. You can't taunt the Herald. You cannot do that. If you were trying to, I'm sorry, but it doesn't work that way. But here we go. We could see an engage here. There's going to be a lot of damage onto where and he is getting bursted. Bishop, one more auto is all he needs, and he is going to be able to get it. Well, it was just 2 more, but Dark Lord's going to find himself getting decimated very quickly. Sparkle's going to go on down. And that is going to be, you can't recall the feathers through the wall. Expertly played by Holy, and he played that fight just hella fresh. He was completely fine. Look at this, an Infernal Drake for their troubles.
And there you go, right? You don't get the first Infernal Dragon, you definitely get the second one. That was a 3-for-1 going in here for Purdue. A little bit of a hiccup coming through for the Gragas because no one was with the Gragas at the start of that fight. But it's all okay. Holy Kerp has his priorities straight and ended up getting himself his first kill of this whole entire match. And Zaya almost actually got out of that one. That was very close, but trust the old Karma. Sometimes it takes a point and click to get the job done.
Yeah, honestly, major thing to look at was the fact that Holy did throw a wind wall behind him, and we're gonna have to keep our eyes on that as these fights continue on, because if he didn't, that would have been a root on all 3 of them and would have been able to get out. But hey, coulda, shoulda, woulda. That wind wall just too devastating for them to be able to find themselves on through. And now we're sitting at the gold lead, being at getting close to a 9K. Not just there yet, but it's getting close.
It's really close, and literally at any point during this match, I believe that Purdue, whenever they want to, can actually go for this Baron. And I think that's what they're trying to set up now. Send Jax into the bot lane to try and push it out as best as possible. Send Yasuo into the top lane that he can eventually rotate over to this Baron, and the rest just in the mid lane. You can see Kai'Sa already setting up for that one.
I mean, when the Kai'Sa's setting up, that is going to be huge because 613 Kai'Sa, right? Like, we're looking at it. You were talking about it earlier, the build choice that Kai'Sas tend to go towards. She's at that 3-item power spike where it just feels so overpowering. And Xayah isn't even on the 2nd item yet. We gotta keep our eyes on the movement of just this Kai'Sa alone, because this Kai'Sa alone, we saw it earlier, is just obliterating HP bars.
Yeah, I don't love it when you're playing a champion and you start just building whatever you can when you go back to base, right? She probably went back to base one time, got the BSR. Went back the next time, got a Cloak of Agility. Went back the next time, got a dagger, right? It's just not fun to play as, and I feel like Xayah just needs just a little bit more time, but Jarvan does not get caught out.
Yeah, not gonna be caught out here. He is saying, where my team at right now? They're all over there in the mid lane, so he's gonna jump over to their safety. As matching up to this Jax is 2 levels down on him, but here we go. Here's the Baron start. This is the trigger that they need to pull. TP is up on Nasta. They could be looking for something. They're trying to just run the distraction here, but LaMelo didn't find in a tough spot. This is a TP. You can't cancel this. They have to go for something here. Jax is still down here in the bot lane. They just disengage off the Baron, and this is going to be a free tower, and they have to recall.
Yeah, and I was going to say, Lane 0 can do one of 2 things here. They can either go back to base and stop the Jax, or start the Baron in their call, start the Baron. It's on 7,000 HP. Let's see what they do.
Yeah, they're looking for it. The TP is coming on out. It's coming in pretty deep. That's going to be the explosive gas. It's going to be there. That's a huge Yasuo ultimate. He's going to be able to decimate, but that's going to be the shutdown that's coming on over. But Bishop is just free hitting and just decimating all their HP bars. Triple kill, ace, and they are going to go on down, and that is going to be Purdue picking up a clean team fight.
You were talking to me about the Gragas Yasuo combo, and if that doesn't scream why you pick it, that's exactly why you pick it. The huge AoE cast into Yasuo ultimate, so incredibly nice. Clam Sparkle as well as Holy Crab, good on you guys.
I mean, honestly, picking the fight at the right time, too. Yeah. You say you're in the Baron Pit, that's the easiest explosive cast of your life. They don't have anywhere to run, and they're just dropping turrets. They're dropping so much, and remember how I said it was almost 9K? Well, let me tell you about 14K. That's a 5K difference in one single fight. And Kai'Sa went back and bought a full death cap.
Yeah, she just did not care on that one. She ended up getting a bunch of shutdowns, so much gold, finished off her Nashers, ended up getting a death cap for your troubles. Usually Kai'Sa's, and I think everyone knows this by now, is that Kai'Sa loves to build this just because of her W poke. It's just so incredibly strong with your AP scalings. Other than that, it's now up to Purdue just to try and close off this match.
To them to figure out exactly what they need to do to kind of get everything going. They've got a huge advantage in their way, and look at the damage where my dude is at right now. Because where is his health bar? It's gone. Look at that. That is a tank J4. He took just 3 auto attacks and just got decimated.
Yeah, it's very, very unfortunate when you get yourself to that point. But I love this 1-3-1 split. I was gonna call it a 1-3-1, but then Gragas showed in the top lane. 2-2-1 split. The enemy team has no idea what to do. Jax is down there in the bot lane all by himself. You got 2 in the top lane. No one knows where to send any of these members. Super unfortunate when you're in this position.
You might need 5 people to deal with this, Kai'Sa, man. This is a terrifying situation right now when you're put in this condition. Any one of these lanes can pull the trigger, and that could be the end of you. And Gragas is here. They're looking for explosive cast. They're not going to engage that, but it's going to stop them from pulling the trigger themselves. And that is an inhibitor going down in the bot side. There's going to be another inhibitor down here in the mid side getting melted down like butter. Bishop wants it. He wants 2 more autos. Give him 1. 2. There it is.
He gets it.
Getting that.
Yep, and he also wants this top lane.
Yeah, they want this top lane as well. Don't blame them. They're looking to say, no, we're going to pull the trigger here. That's going to be Holy going on down. He is going to be able to get a large amount of damage onto Dark Lord. That Bishop jumping on into the backside. Double kill coming on out. Bishop wants more. He sees red. He's looking for the kill, but Clam Sparkle's going to take that one on away. The double kill coming out. Only one member remains, and that is going to be the game going in favor of Purdue.
And that's going to be it. Purdue University, 24 kills at basically 30 minutes in. That's just a huge gold lead. Almost 20K. Oh my goodness.
Absolutely, man. And we got to talk about the fact that, by the way, ladies and gentlemen, we do need to explain. Purdue picked up a win via FF due to an emergency sub from lane 0. And that is a reason why we're saying that's it. That's
it.
all that we have.
One
they
game.
Get a 2-0. They got a 2-0 here. Purdue is, I believe, still undefeated. And man, they make it look so easy, but they did show a lot of flaws. We have to talk about that.
Right. Yeah, there was a lot of times during that match where, and I think it was, I don't want to say mostly because it sounds like Flame, but a lot of it was where the jungler was going. Right. Clam Sparkle, he was very reliable in terms of mid to late game because of the combo of him and Yasuo. Right. It was really nice. That one explosive cast basically won them the game. And he also ended up going around into these different lanes and was very effective. But there was a lot of confusion in the early game. Where do I go? What do I do? Do I go to my camp? Do I try ganking mid lane? And if he tried ganking mid lane, maybe it just didn't work. And that's what this team kind of needs to focus on, right? Where do we want to send our jungler? And when do we need to call for help?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that becomes a very big thing to talk about. And then also like objective control and stuff like that is definitely takeaways that we have to look at. There were bright spots for lane 0. They did do a great job actually controlling objectives and whatnot. They just lost in the lanes. It felt like they had a situation where none of the lanes really got ahead. And it just didn't turn out well because Purdue was like, all right, we can not get objectives. We take this lead and we run it straight on down and we explode because they had one hell of a strong mid-game composition in favor of them. But I gotta ask you, Saved, since we're going into this last beta here, do you have an MVP for this game here?
Bishop absolutely popped off, and it, you can kind of see that in his score where he honestly played a lot of it perfect, right? And I think his only death was when there was a river skirmish and he didn't have flash to get out of the cataclysm. So he played most of that perfectly. He ended up using Kaisa basically to her maximum potential. Played a really nice laning phase, played it kind of passive and allowed Karma just to absolutely take over. Really played towards the CS. You can see the CS numbers. Basically, I think it's called Flame Horizon when you get 100 CS above your opponent. But just absolutely dominated that early game. Really focused on CSing because and they actually ended up getting the Xayah down in the early game, right? You remember the half health Xayah coming back into the lane, and he just was able to play off of that. It was really nice.
There you go. Congratulations, Bishop, for being the MVP of the series. And before we go, and before we end off the stream here, I want to go ahead and give you guys a little bit of a little taste of something. It's going to be fantastic, right? Contenders might be over today, right? But let me tell you about something that's not over. Upsurge is not over this week. And let me tell you about something that's going to be nice and spicy. Tomorrow is going to be UPL. And with UPL, we got a little added twist to it. And I want to be saying that with UPL, we are going to be looking at Upsurge donating money to Extra Life. How is that going to work, you might ask? Well, ladies and gentlemen, that is in your hands and your hands alone. You can tell your mom, your dad, your grandma, your dog, everybody out there that you can possibly do. You can log into all your siblings' accounts and just make them watch Upsurge if you want to. The reason why I say this is because the peak number of viewers that we will have tomorrow will be the amount that Upsurge will donate to Extra Life. And if you guys don't know what Extra Life is, if you've been living under a rock, it is an amazing donation cause. It's an amazing cause that you can actually go ahead and do. And this is something that doesn't require any of your money. It doesn't require anything from you except for a little bit of your time. So be sure to stop by the UPL tomorrow. And even if you're just chilling, even if it's a team that doesn't interest you, even if you just want to chill in the chat, even if you want to just lurk, do it for the kids. Let's get that viewer number as high as it possibly can ever be. And make sure that we can do something great as a community here. Let's switch it up from being just a regular old tide to being a tsunami that's going to crash on down. With that being said, ladies and gentlemen, my name's been Travesty. I've been joined here by the Saved One. Woo. And thank you guys all for coming out to today's game. You guys are all beautiful people. Have a great night.